The following is a production of Florida State University's Office of University Communications. Coming up on FSU Headlines, Zika busters. A Florida State University researcher closes in on a possible treatment. Back to school. FSU welcomes the class of 2020 to campus. And we catch up with Florida State's Olympic athletes back from the Rio Games. Stay tuned for these stories and much, much more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. The Zika outbreak is hundreds of miles away, but Florida State University is on the front line of the fight to stop it.
There's no vaccine or cure for the Zika virus, which is spreading across parts of South Florida. Now, as state, local, and federal officials work to contain the virus, a team led by a Florida State University researcher may have found a clue to a possible treatment.
An existing FDA-approved drug compound may put the brakes on Zika and its debilitating effects.
FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn took a trip to Dr. Hang-Lee Tang's lab here at Florida State to find out more. A group of researchers right here at Florida State is leading the effort to find ways to stop or prevent the effects of the Zika virus.
We teamed up to screen for small molecule compounds that can inhibit Zika replication with the hope of finding drugs to treat Zika infection.
In collaboration with researchers at Johns Hopkins University and the National Institutes of Health, Hang-Lee Tang's group tested more than 6,000 drug compounds and found drugs that can both stop Zika from replicating in the body and from damaging the crucial fetal brain cells that lead to birth defects in newborns.
We went in with an unbiased approach, just look at everything and see which ones will be able to stop the virus. And we were fortunate to find a few classes of compounds that can do that.
Florida State doctoral candidate Emily Lee is one of the co-authors on the paper. It's been published in the scientific journal Nature Medicine. She says the team worked at a breakneck pace to test existing drugs already approved by the FDA or in some form of clinical trials because obviously time is of the essence.
We've had 50 countries who have never experienced Zika before all of a sudden have these outbreaks. We felt like we need to start looking for drugs, right? And development of drugs takes a very long time. And so we started as soon as we could. We started back in, I think, February, and then in a matter of months we were able to identify a few compounds that might be potential antiviral.
The idea to look for repurposed drugs is so that we will not have to spend a lot of time going through clinical trials and again to make them available for human use because of the urgency of the Zika epidemic. And we live in Florida, we know the cases in Florida, so it is something that's very close to home. I think that counts for something, that ability to perhaps affect people's lives in a positive way.
All of the researchers are continuing the work on the compounds and hope to begin testing in the very near future. For FSU Headlines, I'm Mark Vaughn. This latest research comes on the heels of previous findings from Tang and his collaborators that determined how the Zika virus can lead to microcephaly in infants. That work was published back in February.
Meanwhile, Florida State University administrators are working with state and federal officials to keep campus Zika safe.
University health officials are educating students how to reduce the risk of Zika through a number of methods, including posting flyers like this and this from the Florida Department of Health. Students are advised to use bug spray outdoors, empty standing water on campus, and practice safe sex in order to reduce the risk of transmission.
All university health providers and clinician staff at the Health and Wellness Center's Primary Care Clinic, Priority Clinic, and the FSU Women's Clinic have been trained for Zika. An FSU Center for Health and Advocacy staff will share Zika prevention tips, information, and updates during all health promotion events on campus throughout the school year.
And Leon County Mosquito Control is patrolling campus and will spray around Doak Campbell Stadium prior to each home football game this fall.
For more information about staying Zika safe on and off campus, visit zika.fsu.edu.
In other research news, Florida State University continues to move the U.S. Navy toward one of its most ambitious goals. The Center for Advanced Power Systems is now the first university test site in the world accredited by the U.S. Navy to perform high-powered simulations in the pursuit of an all-electric ship. The Navy has been investing significant resources into creating a fully integrated electric ship to replace the current fleets powered by steam turbines. An all-electric ship could move power to all systems, weapons, propulsion, sensors, and electronics as needed. As a result, FSU's center has received a $35 million grant from the U.S. Navy to continue research and testing.
The funding is for 5 years, and we're trying, with the Navy's tasking to us, trying to make sure all the systems that are being developed for an all-electric ship and the control systems to control that energy and power and the components that are being developed already are proven, at least at our level of testing, by the year 2021. By the year 2021, the Navy plans currently to get very serious about the design of a next surface ship. So that's why the increase in funding, and that's why we're trying to work so hard working with the Navy.
The Florida State University College of Medicine's class of 2020 has completed its first semester of training, and as a result, class members each received one of the most iconic symbols of the medical profession in a time-honored tradition. Check it out.
Welcome. I heartily congratulate you on the completion of your first semester of medical school. It was 73 days ago, it may feel like years. Just a bit more than 10 weeks when you arrived here at the College of Medicine to begin that new chapter in your life. Whether or not you'll admit it, you were very, very apprehensive at that time. You weren't sure you were maybe up to that challenge and had it what it took to succeed here, to actually become a doctor. Well, now we're at the end of the summer and things look quite different now, don't they?
This is my mom, Dr. Cathy Hartley. She's a pediatrician in Jacksonville, and she graduated in 1983 from the FSU PIMS program.
We also have a wonderful legacy program called PIMS, Program in Medical Sciences, that existed from 1971 until we started our medical school in 2001.
Sarah Hartley. Sarah is being quoted by her mother, Dr. Catherine Hartley.
I've grown up with her saying that she wanted to be a doctor. We have pictures of her when she was 5 years old, and now this is the beginning of a very exciting time in her life. So yes, it's going to be very, very magical.
We really consider this to be a family.
Brandon
We're now
Herrera.
to the point where we're actually having alumni come back and be our guest speakers. We
Brandon's
have
being
alumni
quoted
coming
by his
back and
cousin,
coding
Dr. Christy
brothers and
Demas.
sisters and cousins like we did today. I've had people say that the white coat ceremony have meant more to them than graduation from medical school, because it really is a rite of passage for them to say, hey, maybe I do have what it takes.
It definitely is a sense of validation that we got through the first semester and we are supposed to be here. We were chosen by the faculty at Florida State College of Medicine, and I think in the beginning it was a little surreal, but now it feels like, okay, we can do this and it's going to be a good 4 years.
It's a one-of-a-kind honor for a Florida State alumna and local business leader.
Ms. Dansby is a former FSU student and a great friend of the FSU through her many years.
Florida State University bestows the Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree to Grace Dansby during a special ceremony recently held on campus.
It is therefore fitting and appropriate to bestow upon you the high recognition designated by an honorary
In its 165-year history,
degree.
Florida State University has only granted 130 honorary doctorate degrees. So needless to say, this is a rare honor. Dansby is a pillar of the Tallahassee community, serving on numerous local and charitable boards, including a decade as chair of the Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare Foundation's Board of Trustees. She's also been a longtime advocate for FSU, its academic and athletics programs, and, most importantly, its students.
Today was a special day. Many friends from all over Tallahassee and really all over the state came to see her get this incredible honor. And for Florida State University, we were honored to give it to her.
It was really awesome, and for 2 weeks I've been sort of keyed up and trying to prepare the statement that I was going to make, because I'm not a speech maker. I'd rather be in the back room someplace listening. But it was really awesome because I didn't really realize how many people that had worked so hard and long on this successful ceremony today.
To learn more about Dr. Dansby and the FSU Honorary Doctorate, you can check out the story on our news website at news.fsu.edu.
And yet another honor on FSU's campus. This one takes place outdoors.
On behalf of the FSU Libraries, I want to welcome all of you here today.
Florida State University honors former President Robert Strozier by dedicating a statue on the steps of the library that bears his name. Strozier became president of Florida State University in 1957. He was known for his excellent academic credentials, level-headed practicality, and winning personality.
President Strozier knew that the heart and soul of any university is its library. So it's fitting that we have him here looking over really his legacy in this library.
This is a magnificent sculpture that really does embody our father's grace and dedication to learning and warmth.
If you'd like to see the new statue, just visit Strozier Library. It sits right outside.
Or if you can't make it to campus, you can head over to news.fsu.edu and check out the photo gallery there.
And still to come on FSU Headlines, the start of the fall semester means a new beginning for incoming freshmen.
It's nice that, they're doing this for us, and we're not just starting class and being thrown into lessons.
The freshman experience at Florida State, when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
Florida State gives you the opportunity to do anything you want to do.
I am so grateful to be able to work with some of the best professors in the world.
I will always be a Seminole. This is home.
Florida State made me feel special, and that's the most I could have asked for from a university. Honestly, I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't be the student I am today without Florida State.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines and Florida State University. Dennis, it seems just like yesterday, we welcomed the class of 2016 to campus to begin its journey. Now that journey is just about complete.
That's right, Nora, and here we are again welcoming a new class of freshmen to Florida State University. And we do that here at FSU with a very special ceremony that looks a lot like a graduation ceremony.
Yep, it's new Student Convocation, and we think it's the perfect way to introduce newcomers to Florida State. Take a look.
Convocation brings together the university community to celebrate the start of a new year and emphasize the university's values. The three torches on the Florida State seal, Aries, Artes, and Mores, represent some of the core values of the university that we hope to see embodied in our students, our faculty, and our staff. Strength, skill, and character.
So I'm so excited to be here. This is new Student Convocation for the incoming class of 2020. So this is basically like a milestone or a rite of passage for new students here at Florida State. So here they are, get to meet all of their new incoming class and just get to learn how to be a Seminole.
I would encourage you to, instead of judging, ask yourself, where might that person come from? What might their experiences have been like that have shaped them into the people that they are? If you choose the path to be more curious and less judging, I assure you that you will grow exponentially during your time here. Choose to be curious about the people around you.
I've seen a lot of familiar faces in the audience. I've been congratulated. I've spent many nights just waiting to be here. I could not wait. And so to finally be here, it's like It's like a dream, man. It's like a dream.
Freshmen aren't the only new students on the Florida State campus.
Nearly 1,000 new graduate students were recently given a warm welcome to Florida State.
I'm Nancy Marcus. I'm Dean of the Graduate School. I really want to welcome you all to Florida State University. We're very pleased that you've decided to pursue your graduate studies here at Florida State.
First on the to-do list for a new group of Florida State graduate students, a crash course in everything FSU has to offer by way of a one-day orientation session.
We have about 700 or 800 graduate students attending today. They're both master's and doctoral students, and it's our opportunity to welcome them to Florida State University and to Tallahassee and try to set them on the right path for their different degrees to ensure their success.
I'm very excited to start my master's program. It'll be very different than my undergrad, but it's the right transition I need. I thought it was very helpful, and I learned a lot. I did not have access to any of that information beforehand, and I really was able to absorb it, and I'll take it and use it in my next year of schooling. It was really nice to be able to have a direction and know where to go and have people leading you and having campus tours and library tours and not having to just be a fish out of water and find it by yourself.
And to learn more about the many excellent graduate programs at Florida State, visit us online at gradschool.fsu.edu. Well, what's the first thing you do when you start college? Move into your residence hall? Sign up for classes? Yes, those are all good answers, but what about starting your college life off by serving others? That's exactly what an outstanding group of incoming freshmen did during the last week of summer.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and put your water bottles just down right where you are?
40 Florida State University freshmen spent the week before school learning about themselves, their new classmates, and their new home here in Tallahassee. This year's Service Leadership Seminar allowed the new students to participate in different team building activities and service projects developed by the coordinators at FSU's Center for Leadership and Social Change. For the first few days, the students participated in games and workshops to build communication, planning, and other leadership skills. Then the freshmen divided into small groups and went to work helping some of the organizations that make up the Tallahassee community during the service portion of the seminar.
I am destined to give back. It is my moral obligation, it's my duty to ensure that I give back not only to Tallahassee, but to make sure that I give back in other areas of the world as well. I can honestly say that I feel enlightened by this process. I feel like I'm a better person. I feel like I can think better, I think faster, and I feel like I'm doing something very positive.
As we just found out, there are tons of university-related activities on and off campus. And now there's a new app to help incoming as well as current students get a handle on FSU safety and more. FSU Headlines reporter Cara Irby spoke with Florida State University Police Chief David Perry to learn more about the new Seminole Safe app. Cara?
That's right, Nora. FSU Public Safety Administrators say Seminole Safe is a one-stop shop for safety, security, and need-to-know information for the FSU community and beyond.
We are excited to launch our new safety app for the university. And it's not just a safety app. We think it's an app that has everyday application.
That's how Florida State University Police Chief David Perry describes the Seminole Safe app. And he says it's not just for students and staff on campus.
We see it being used by visitors, by people in our community, because we've created those pathways to use local resources within the city, within the county, counseling center resources in the event of a crisis.
The app even has user guides for how to respond to emergency situations such as severe weather or bomb threats.
Being proactive is everything. We'd rather you prepare and have a plan in advance versus trying to make it up in the moment of a crisis. Because typically you'll panic, in most cases you'll get tunnel vision, but if you think it through in advance, you're more likely to have a positive outcome.
The app is also equipped with a safety toolbox that allows you to sound an alarm or turn on your flashlight. There's even a feature called the Friend Walk, which allows a friend or family member to temporarily track a user's walk from one place to another via GPS.
For students who are maybe living in some of the further away dorms,
It's really awesome. They can, stay late at the library and not feel like they need to have a friend walk with them. It's just good technology to have.
The Friend Walk is something Deputy Chief of Police Major Jim Russell plans to put to good use when he bikes into work. But there's other features about the app he enjoys.
But one of the things I really love is being able to upload things like pictures to us. That if you see something that seems suspicious, or maybe maybe there's even a safety discrepancy on campus. There's lights that are out, or a sidewalk that needs repair. You can take a picture and send it to us, and then we have it.
When users send the photo, it includes the location the photo was taken. The police can even respond to the message. The app also includes maps of student housing and even game day information with directions to specific parking lots. The app can even be updated in real time in the event of a crisis.
I think that's super cool, just knowing as things are happening, it's like CNN, man, right on my phone.
And with all the bells and whistles of the Seminole Safe app, it's something FSU public safety administrators take great pride in.
Well, I know during orientation, when I'm talking to kids, as I tell them, the FSU strives to be first in everything we do. We strive to be first in research, we strive to be first in academics, we strive to be first in athletics, and public safety is no different. We are a part of FSU, we're a part of what FSU is about, and so we lead the way at FSU, and this is just another example of what we're doing there.
The app can be downloaded for free on all Android and iPhones. For FSU Headlines, I'm Cara Irby.
And still to come on FSU Headlines, the Rio Olympics featured plenty of Seminole athletes.
We'll get a recap of their time in Brazil and look ahead to a big fall sports calendar when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines and welcome back to Florida State University. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. In this show, we've seen the start of the new semester on campus and all the activities that go along with it. But we can't forget about sports here at FSU.
Absolutely not, Nora. We're off to a hot start in fall sports. Soccer, volleyball, and football all giving us something to cheer for. Now it's time to bring in Mark Vaughn to let us know what's up and what's ahead. Mark?
That's right, Dennis and Nora. It was a hot start to the fall semester for all the Seminole athletic teams, but especially for football. The Florida State Seminoles football team kicked off the 2016 campaign with a top 15 showdown against SEC West opponent Ole Miss. And what an opener it was. FSU trailed 28-6 at one point in the first half as Ole Miss jumped out to an early lead. But right before the half, the Noles got in the end zone for their first touchdown of the night, and that shifted momentum. In the second half, the Noles come out and score some more to take a 29-28 lead, and they never looked back en route to the 45-34 win. From there, the Noles move into a non-conference game against Charleston Southern to open the home slate before a big September with games against Louisville, South Florida, and North Carolina. A highlight in the early season for the Noles has been the effort of wide receiver Travis Rudolph on and off the field. He caught a touchdown in the Ole Miss game, but made an even bigger impact off the field. He made national news all for taking a seat with a student on a visit to a local school. The story of Travis Rudolph and Beau Passkey warmed the hearts of many people inside and outside the college football world when Beau's mom wrote an incredible Facebook post praising Rudolph for taking time to eat lunch with her son Beau, who has autism spectrum disorder. That new friendship has blossomed, and the Passkeys were on hand in a special jersey, no less, at the season opener, cheering on Rudolph and the Seminoles. What a great story and a great victory. On to soccer, and the Noles off to a hot start on the road before falling to opportunistic South Alabama early in September. Despite the #1 preseason ranking, FSU definitely a young team looking for some continuity in what could be a big year for the squad. The Noles started the year 3-0 with wins over Texas A&M, Vandy, and Middle Tennessee before the Florida rivalry game was canceled due to Hurricane Hermine. And then, of course, that loss to South on the road put a stop to the short win streak. The Noles have plenty of games to bounce back, though, as the season is still young. The ACC schedule is stacked, and there are plenty of big games down the road for this squad. Much like the soccer team, the volleyball team started the year pretty hot before falling to top 5 ranked Minnesota. The volleyball squad picking up wins over Texas A&M and Alabama on the road, and that has the Noles confident in the early going. Look for matchups this month with rivals Florida and Miami to really show the team where they are nationally. Okay, so remember, you can always keep up with Seminole athletics by visiting Seminoles.com. That's going to do it for us here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Let's send it back to you.
Thanks for that update, Mark. Well, as those Seminole student athletes began gearing up for their seasons, other student athletes, coaches, and even faculty were coming home from the biggest athletic competitions in the world. Florida State University researcher Chris Stanley traveled with the United States track and field team to Poland for the Junior World Championships as one of 2 team sports psychologists. He wasn't the only Nole to make the journey, though. Junior Armani Wallace, sophomore Shakina Dorsett, and incoming freshman Shanice Love competed in their respective fields of triple jump, sprints, and discus. Any sort of international competition experience, like the World Junior Championships, can be a huge advantage when preparing for the ultimate international competition, the Olympics. Florida State University was well represented at the summer's biggest event, the 2016 Rio Olympics, which for some now seems like another lifetime as these FSU athletes and coaches are back on campus. Graduate student and long jumper Stefan Brits competed in his first Olympics in Rio, representing his home country of South Africa. Stefan was named the ACC Men's Outdoor Scholar Athlete of the Year and has made quite a name for himself on campus, both academically and on the track. Former FSU diver Katrina Young became only the 4th diver in school history to earn the honor of competing in the Olympics. Katrina graduated in the spring, continuing her training with FSU dive coach John Pryor. The Rio Games was an Olympic first for both competitor and coach.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime online at news.fsu.edu.
It's the official news website of Florida State University.
For Nora and everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.